Hey, welcome to Life in the God Lane. I'm Tom West. I hope you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the little bell so you get reminded every time I put a message out. And I put one out every day, 2 on Friday. One of them is the main message of the week, and that's what this is, the main message of the week. And hope you'll give me thumbs up, make comments, share the video with someone else. It could be very impactful for their life. Because I'm teaching the Bible here. We're just teaching the Bible. And I call this message, How to Influence the Lord. Believe it or not. It's from Mark, the 7th chapter, verses 24 through 30. Let's take a minute and pray. Father, I pray that you would speak to us from these verses, from this historical account of Jesus encountering a Syrophoenician woman. Make a difference in our lives with it, Father. Open us up to your word and impact us. Make us different because we've heard from you. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. If you didn't know it yet, it's important for you to know now that you can influence the Lord. Certainly, he should influence you. That's primary. But you can influence him. We're going to learn how to influence the Lord today from a woman known as the Syrophoenician woman. It's in the Mark, the 7th chapter, verses 24 through 30 is where we find the history of her story. These are the verses. Jesus left that place and went to the vicinity of Tyre. He entered a house and did not want anyone to know it. Yet he could not keep his presence secret. In fact, as soon as she heard about him, a woman whose little daughter was possessed by an evil spirit came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek born in Syrophoenicia, and she begged Jesus to drive the demon out of her daughter. First, let the children eat all they want, he told her, for it's not right to take the children's bread and toss it to their dogs. Yes, Lord, she replied, but even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. And then he told her, for such a reply you may go. The demon has left your daughter. She went home and found her child lying on the bed and the demon gone. This history, it's a historical account. That's what the Bible is. The narratives like this. This history follows 2 passages where Jesus intentionally broke from the ceremonial law. And this is significant because he's going to break from the ceremonial law again in this passage as he encounters the Syrophoenician woman. Jesus went to the Mediterranean coast, to the area around the city of Tyre. And he goes into a house, and what he's doing is he's trying to get away from the crowds. He's always overrun by people. Again and again, Jesus was trying to get some peace and quiet. And he was going to go to a different area to get away from the crowd. So Jesus wasn't able to keep his location a secret. And a woman who was a Greek, it says, born in Syrophoenicia, found him. This woman comes to Jesus, and she comes to him with a huge problem. Her daughter was possessed by an evil spirit, and she wanted Jesus to heal her daughter. Now, this woman's called a Greek, meaning that she was a Gentile from an area away from Israel and probably spoke Greek primarily. She got in front of Jesus while he was trying to get away from the people, and she begged him to drive the demon out of her daughter. Jesus' response to her is strange. He says, first, let the children eat all they want. What's that about? What is he doing? He is telling her that the Jews get his ministry first. She's not a Jew. And it's not right to give his ministry that's for Jews to her before the Jews get it. They're primary. He came to the Jews first, and he was a Jew. Jesus goes further yet by saying that it's not right to give the children's bread to the dogs. He's saying it's not right to take the ministry that is for the Jews and give it to a Gentile dog. It's offensive, what he says, you know. The image he is using is that of a home with a little puppy. He says, you don't take the food that's for the children in a home and give it to the dog, to the puppy. You don't do that. The children are the Jews, and the pet puppy represents the Gentiles. It's like Jesus is saying, you're a Gentile dog, and I'm not going to give you the food that belongs to the Jews. They go first, and you really don't count. That's the kind of message he's telling her. And next, the woman begins to influence the Lord Jesus Christ. She's pretty good at it, too. She tells him the following in Mark 7:28. Yes, Lord, she replied, but even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. Jesus, I get it, is her point. Your ministry is to the Jews first, but don't the Gentile dogs under the table get the crumbs, the leftovers that fall from the table? Jesus tells her that for such a reply as that, she can go, her daughter will be healed, the demon will leave her daughter. She headed for home and found the child lying on a bed with the demon gone. She influenced Jesus in spite of the fact that she had a lot of things working against her. First, Jesus was trying to get away from people, and she found him anyway, which is exactly what he was trying to avoid. And she brought him her request anyway. Okay. Second, she's a woman. Rabbis like Jesus typically did not speak to women in public. But she brought her request to him humbly anyway and was pleading for the well-being of her child. Kick the demon out of my kid, was her point. Third, she was a Gentile and a Greek. The Jews did not care for Gentiles at all. It was a racial hatred. Now, Jesus didn't bear that, but the Jews did. But she brought her request to Jesus anyway. She knew he was a Jew and that she was a Gentile, and there was a hatred between Jews and Gentiles, but that didn't deter her. She brought her request to Jesus. Fourth, she was from Syrian Phoenicia, probably spoke Greek as her primary language. Jesus' primary language was Aramaic. And he probably might have spoken some Greek, most people did, but it would have been a secondary language for him for sure. But that didn't deter her. She brought her request, regardless the language difference, she brought her request to Jesus anyway. Fifth, Jesus told her that he was there to minister to the Jews first, not her. She's a Gentile dog. But she came back with the fact that as a Gentile, wasn't she worthy of the children's crumbs? Such a statement recognizes that Jesus is telling her the truth, but humbly starts to influence him to help her anyway. The Syrophoenician woman influenced Jesus and changed his mind. And there are 5 reasons for him to reject her request, but she influenced him to say yes to her request. How'd she pull that off? You know, I spent 17 years of my 73 years in sales. And over 55 years of my life have been used influencing people. Now, sales, if it's done right, is influencing people. A lot of people don't do sales right, and that's why it has a bad reputation. But if done right, there's great integrity in it, and it's about influencing people. You do that by connecting with them, building a relationship, and help them with a product that they came to buy, you know. In about 2010, I was selling Fords in those days, and the auto industry was trying to come out of the toughest economic time since the Great Depression. And I was in auto sales at Sanderson Ford in Glendale, Arizona. And I was working with a lady who was buying an F-150. Sold more F-150s than anything, and about half of them were sold to ladies, believe it or not. And at that time, there was a rebate, huge rebate on F-150s. And on the truck she wanted to buy, there was a $7,500 rebate. I remember this. It was dramatic. And my job was to influence her to buy the truck, honestly. Part of my job is try to not discount the truck beyond the rebates And in this case, they were $7,500 in rebates. Why? To hold as much profit for the store as I could. And guess how I got paid? I got paid off the profit. My commission was based on the profit. So I wanted to hold as much profit for the store as I could, and so that I could get a good commission. So when I presented her with the numbers on her deal, I showed her the price less the rebates and the payments based on her good credit. She said it all looked good to her, but she said, I want a discount. And I'm thinking, what should I say? This is what I said next. I said, wouldn't you call a $7,500 rebate a discount? And she goes, yeah, that makes sense. It's a discount. And she bought the truck at the numbers I presented. I influenced her over her question and her objection. And it was done honestly, and she still got a great deal on the truck. The Syrophoenician woman did the same thing with Jesus. She influenced him to toss the demon from her daughter over his questions and objections. Now, for you and me today, this becomes a lesson in prayer. And I don't know about you, but I'm at a place in life where I spend a lot of time praying. I go through my prayer list 3 times a day, and I do bullet shots on prayer all the time to the Lord, and spend a lot of my life in prayer. And the longer I live, the more important I find it to be. But for you and me, it becomes a lesson in prayer. How can we use the lessons taught by the Syrophoenician woman to influence the Lord in prayer? Now, you might be thinking, is it right to influence the Lord in prayer? The answer to that question is yes. Why do I say that? Listen, if you're asking wrong, he won't be influenced, okay? If you're making a mistake in the way you're asking, he won't be influenced. If you're asking right, he can be influenced. And he will, and listen, he's God. He'll never do the wrong thing. So ask him. And if you're asking wrong, he'll make that clear to you as well. Remember the words of Jesus in Matthew 7:7 and 8. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks, the door will be opened. He's telling you to influence him in prayer. Ask, seek, and knock, and you can get him to respond to your prayers. Asking, seeking, and knocking is about coming before God in prayer to influence him to act on your behalf. It is exactly what the Syrophoenician woman was doing. So think about it this way. Take 3 steps to influence the Lord. First, ask him specifically for what you need. The Syrophoenician woman asked specifically for Jesus to drive the demon out of her daughter. You know, if you're a parent, the biggest deal in your life is your kids. And if something's really wrong with your kid, man, it'll consume you. That's where she was. One of the things that I brought to the Lord to influence him about, and I've been praying about this hard for a while, is the need for rain and snow in the mountains in Central California. The area I live in Porterville, California. It's in the San Joaquin Valley. We grow 25% of the world's food. And our government here in California lets much of the needed water for agriculture and everything else run off into the ocean to take care of smelts and salmon and stuff. But what about people, you know? I've talked to farmers who have lost their crops for a couple of years because of a lack of water. The lack of water has destroyed their crops. You know how they're living? They're living on agricultural loans, which they have to pay back. And they have to have a good year to pay those things back. If they don't get water this year, many of them are going to go out of business. And some of these guys, their family farms, they've had 40, 50, 60, even 100 years in their family. 3 times a day and more, I ask God to provide rain and snow to build up water to keep our farmers in business. So far this year, we're ahead of the game. It needs to keep raining and snowing, but God's answered that prayer so far and going to take good care of those farmers, okay? So they can come and do business with me. I can sell them funeral and cremation plans. They won't be broke anymore. Like the Syrophoenician woman, I'm being specific about the need and asking God for it directly. And listen, you can never influence the Lord without asking him for what's needed. You got to ask him. Second, be humble about your request. The Syrophoenician woman fell at Jesus' feet in humility, and she asked him for what she needed. When Jesus told her that the Jewish children get the bread before the Gentile dogs, that didn't stop her from asking. She came back with the reality that the dogs got the crumbs left over on the floor. Her request was nothing less than totally humble, but it was also direct. She asked him for it. We need to always be direct with our request, but humble about it, like the woman was. We're talking to God. That requires that we be humble. Third, tell the Lord why he should honor your request. The Syrophoenician woman told Jesus that yes, the Jews get theirs first. She recognized that. But don't the Gentiles get the crumbs? Don't the Gentile dogs get the crumbs that fall from the table? She was telling Jesus why he should do it, and she was doing that with great influence by way of humility. Don't miss it. She was influencing the Lord. Jesus should meet the Syrophoenician woman's daughter's need because the Gentiles are worthy of the crumbs that fall from the table. That's why. And she told him why. She was willing to tell Jesus why he should honor her request, and he did it. Why should Jesus provide water for the central San Joaquin Valley? And I communicate this to him. Because no one else can. And if he doesn't come through, farmers are wrecked and can't grow food for people. 25% of the food for the world is grown here. We need God. We need him to intervene on our behalf. One word of caution. We typically, people get sick. They get cancer. I lost a younger brother and sister to cancer, and recently a sister-in-law to cancer. And one of the realities is that the Lord does not always heal when we ask. And that's a hard one, okay? He doesn't always heal when we ask. Sometimes that's not his will. And he's not going to do it if it's not. And it's not what's best for the person who's sick. If he always healed when we asked him to heal, what would happen? No one would ever die. And newsflash here, we're all going to die. There'll come a day when we won't get healed. I'm aware of that. I've been doing funerals for over 45 years. It happens. So that's a word of caution. Ask anyway. Ask anyway. But here, never fear trying to influence the Lord. If you're not asking for the right thing, he'll make it clear and he won't do the wrong thing. Tell him what you need. Ask humbly and make it clear why he should act on your behalf. He will never let you down. He'll always do the right thing. Doesn't mean you'll always get your way, but you'll always get his way. Influence the Lord. Let's pray. Father, teach us to pray. Teach us to know that we can come before you and try to influence you, and that we don't have to be worried about doing the wrong thing before you, because you'll never do the wrong thing for us. So give us that kind of confidence, and give us the confidence to pray. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. About a week from now, I will roll out another message, full-on message like this, 19, 20, 21, 22 minutes. And the name of that will be God Does Things His Way. Hope you'll be looking for that. That'll be coming out next week. And then be ready for every day. I put out power verses, little mini messages every day. Be looking for those every day. On Friday, you get the main message and a power verse. And I hope you'll be looking for all those. Hit the little bell so that you get reminded. Share these with someone else so they can get them. And I hope you'll pray and ask God to use these messages in a whole bunch of people's lives to impact them with the truth of the Word of God. Bless your heart. I will see you tomorrow.